Respected CMD sir, Director sir, all senior officers. I'm Vipin Kumar. I'll be presenting the challenges in the underground space. My presentation is divided in three parts. First, I'll be covering the agenda items. The role of PIUs and things. Well, the PIU Kolkata has been executing the metro works primarily in Kolkata. Apart from that, we also have executed the traffic works. We have done traveling, state with Bardhaman. And now we are increasing our footprints to underground metro. We are doing it in the planet section, the purple line. We are doing the NHI and highway works. That is, we are executing the Pune Expressway. Then last year, we have got a work from the Airport Authority of India. So we are venturing into the airports. We have recently commissioned the first CBTC, Communication Based Train Control System, in the purple line. We are also venturing into the specialized bridge repair work. We have got one work on nomination basis, that is the repair of a bascule bridge, about 100 crore rupees from the Kolkata Port Trust. We are making multiple 248 flats for Indian Army at Panagarh. And we have submitted a very comprehensive proposal of metro maintenance and operation work, which CMD sir also highlighted, to Kolkata Metro, because a lot of Kolkata Metro, which was only 27 kilometers, will become 100 kilometers very soon. They are simply not equipped to handle the operation and maintenance part. Probably they'll be going for outsourcing. So we have put RVNL as a serious player in operation and maintenance. Apart from that, we are ready for consultancy and PMC works because our PMC engineers and contractual engineers have been handling this metro work for the last 10 to 15 years. Where we are right and where wrong, I'll just deal with the subject in four projects that we started in last 1 year. We started Pune Expressway in this financial year. In Pune Expressway, we are as a contractor to the NHI. It's a EPC contract taken via a very aggressive bidding. We got this project at 720 crores against 840 crores, and we have in 2.5 years. I have covered it separately, so I'll skip this part right now. It's a very challenging beginning indeed. Then from the Airport Authority of India, we have got a work of 230 crores for nomination basis. It's very nice for RPNL because we'll be learning from the airport field and we're getting a good margin also here. Similarly, for the COPC also, we have got this Bascule Bridge rehabilitation work. It's again on nomination basis. We have got 100 crore rupees work, and once we complete it, it will be a very nice potential added because very few players will have this kind of expertise of repairing a Bascule Bridge. And it's again nomination basis, so we are profit margin. On transport bypass, from the PIU, our feedback is that it's probably too small considering the risk management and mitigation involved because this Sitarampur bypass the work is entirely in Sitarampur yard and we are crossing the Rajdhani Rhine. I mean, this is the area where the Dhanbad, from you go straight to Dhanbad and then to Patna. So there is a lot of electric cables, etc. Probably if this work is more than 1,000 crores, then I think it's in a better position because in compared to other contractors, as I'll discuss with Pune, we will have certain profit overheads because we cannot dispense with certain things which other contractors can. Should RVNL not be a market mention? Yes, it should be right facing. Well, it's a 720 crore work we started, but without deploying any additional manpower. Then we started Sitarampur bypass, again without deploying any additional manpower. Then we started Kali Pahadi Pradhan Kanta, again without deploying additional manpower. All the last 1 year, whatever works we have completed in the metro, we have handed over to the Metro Railway Kolkata, and that manpower has been redeployed to these works. The best tool to perform as we are changing our role from a client to a contractor, we need to be strong in our legal and arbitration matters, and that's why in the PIU we have established a legal and arbitration cell because Kolkata itself is a very difficult place to work because of various litigations, I'll explain in the underground. So if we don't have a dedicated legal and arbitration cells, many of our letters and legal things may be left unreplied, which will have a huge ramification for us. We intend to have build drawing and design cell also because in Pune, since we are PC contractors, design is our own scope. no matter what we outsource, but we need to analyze or compare two designs as I'll be discussing in Kona. So we need to have some house designs and also good designers who can help us in bringing this into. We have established planning cell. We have hired a planning engineer who is an expert in Primavera, and we are using it. And I'll show in Pune that we have been able to do something in Prima BI because we are able to engage a planning. Then we should go for training of our engineers from specialized institute from Neckmar. This I'll skip because it's already in the Google sheet. This I just found out the data from my organization in last 5 years. There were about 3 to 4 CPM. Has, units have also shrinks. Manpower has also decreased in last 5 years. I think this is more important than the turnover in these 5 years has risen from 920 crores to 2700 crores. Our expenditure of PIU Kolkata is 2700 crores this year. So the turnover per employee is on the rising trend, which is healthy for the organization. I'll skip this part, which is in the Google sheet. These case studies are the good innovative works, but they are related to the underground, which I'll be covering separately. But the last one is we are doing this elevated metro, and in Kolkata, getting a traffic block. I mean, the kind of political conditions that are getting one simple traffic block is very, very challenging. In fact, there are articles in Times of India, we are having this Chingri Ghata problem, where the launcher is stuck just because we need to cross the road. We have made the diversion road, but there is no word from state government as to when we will get the traffic block. So we are doing other works. So whenever we are planning right at the design stage, we try to think as to how we can minimize our dependency on state government and on traffic police. So here is one case where normally we were doing the concourse by cast in situ. Till now, we were getting the blocks, but considering the problems ahead, we have made a different design with TCPL, the Tandon Consultants, where the concourse would be done by using precast beams and then sacrificial settling, and the concourse can be cast there. So this will reduce the amount of traffic block that is required and our dependency on the state government. These are there in the Google sheet. The ISO checklist is okay. We have done a lot of inspections. We are ISO certified on all three ISOs, 9001, 14001, 45001 till 26. One good initiative was we cleared 242 crores of advances last year. And many of the advances that are appearing are they are frozen because those works have not been completed. And as the works get completed, we'll get those advances also. So now I move to the main topic today, which is the challenges in the underground metro and Pune Expressway. First, I'll be dealing with the underground metro. So we are doing the purple line here. This is the area that we are covering now with the underground. This is from Joka to Majirhat. That has already been commissioned. This shows that from Joka to Majirhat, we have already commissioned in 2 phases, and both of them have been inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. And the phase 3 is in progress that we expect to complete by December 28. In the underground, it's a 5-kilometer section. So our main contractor is L&T, and we have Yuxel Project Humus JV as our general consultant. It's a 2,500 crore package started in 2023. The end date is 27. That's for the civil engineering work. So overall, we are expecting to complete by 28. The main scope of the work is to have 4 underground stations, namely Khidirpur, Victoria, Park Street, and Esplanade, and twin tunnels for metro, about 2.6 into 2. That's 5.3 kilometers of tunneling involved here. This is the overall alignment. People familiar with Kolkata will recognize. This is the the Maidan area. That is the Ganga River there. Why are metro projects challenging? Well, this is as much as I could accommodate in one slide, there are more. At all times, we have to take these many players with us. There are court cases, then there is state government, then there is defense, police. Only then your projects can move. In all over India, except for Kolkata Metro, most of the metros are being done by the state governments only. But in Kolkata, the metro is being done by Indian Railways. And right now, there is a bit shortfall in the cooperation from the state government.
What are the major challenges? The major challenges we are facing are legal, administrative, and technical. These are the three heads. I'll cover them in these. This is the summary slide. We have a lot of problem with the land acquisition, and we had problems in the CMRI hospital. The Consulate General of Nepal is involved, and the Kolkata Police land is involved. Now, here, when we are taking land acquisition, it is done by the Metro Act, even though every land acquisition ultimately results in a court case. And court case itself takes about 2 to 3 years, 4 years of time, over which we have little control. I mean, Consulate General may, I'll show you. Now, for example, here are this is where the center line of track is going. So we require a strip of land which is being acquired. So when we require amount of land from CMRI hospital, they went to the court case. Now this court case has been settled. It took about 2 years of time, and they will be handing over the land to us probably about 6 months from now. Then there is the Consulate General of Nepal. Now, this cannot be acquired by Metro Act, and this is very much essentially required. So, then a solution was arrived that we would acquire this part of land, and then we would swap it with them. So, this they have agreed, but when we acquired and we have already paid 42 crores of land, and as it happens in Kolkata, when the owner has agreed, but there were 5 tenants, they have gone to the court. So first we have the case has been disposed of in the lower court, but now they have gone to the divisional bench, and probably they'll go to the Supreme Court. So while we are negotiating, but we have the title in the meantime, we have paid to the owner, and the title and the mutation, etc., is in our name. So in parallel, we are negotiating with the government of Nepal to at least give us in principle NOC so that we can move ahead, and hopefully at the same time trying to hire the best of the lawyers and convince the judges to give a favorable decision at the earliest. Second is the Kolkata police land. Well, this was discussed that we will require some land, and in turn we will modernize their assets. And now, I mean, there is a strict no. They have simply denied. They are not just answering. The issue is there in the PMG, and every month or 2 months the PMG is held. Well, the government is simply saying no, and there is no way without which we can move ahead without this land. Then there are environmental issues right in the heart of Calcutta. About 1,000 fully grown trees are to be removed. Then there are heritage structures, a lot of heritage structures under which the TBM has to pass. So we have to issue those. Then there are legacy issues, legacy problems between the Ministry of Defense and state government, and RVNL has to move, strike a very delicate balance between the state government and MOD without hurting either of them to find a solution. In Calcutta, tunneling becomes a challenge. We have in the KMRCL a Bow Bazaar incidents. So because of soft soil, the high water table and shallow overburden become the challenges. And there are a lot of dilapidated buildings kind of a thing. So we have to be very, very careful to avoid any other kind of accident like Bow Bazaar. So just we require a small piece of land, only 800 square from Kolkata police. They have dilapidated quarters. We offered them that we would make them G+12 and G+7 building for them. They were all happy, but at the last moment, it has become political. So it's stuck right now. The tree transplantation became a very, very big problem for us because NGOs have gone there, and this also ultimately went to the Supreme Court despite following all procedures. So first, there were 3 levels of clearances we had to obtain because all the trees are situated in the MOD area. That's the Defense Maidan area called. So we obtained the clearance from local military authority. We obtained the clearance from KMC. We obtained the clearance from Forest Department. Still, they went to the High Court. So finally, the case was disposed of at Supreme Court, at High Court after 2.5 years. Then they went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court finally, because of that legal cell, here the importance of legal cell came, and guidance of our ED sir, we hired Tushar Mehta. That was a very, very good move. Because of hiring him, the case was disposed of in 2 hearings. The Supreme Court guided us to the CEC. It took some time, but finally on 28th of March, the CEC has also given us the final clearance. So these 6 levels of clearances we obtained on 28th of March. This is, I will show you, I was aware that this will be the problem. So we had very well documented all the efforts that we made in tree transplantation. And this is a case where not a single tree is being felled in that strict sense. All the 1,000 trees are being transplanted. So we made a small video, and this video was presented in the Supreme Court also, which helped us in getting a favorable judgment in just 2 months' time. Can I show you, please?
In modern times, one of the challenges faced in planning infrastructural projects is maintaining a delicate balance between development and environment. The prestigious and technically complex project of Mominpur Esplanade Underground Metro in the great city of Kolkata also faced this challenge. There are approximately 1,000 trees in the alignment of the project. In normal circumstances, trees are felled by doing compensatory plantation. But in this case, RVNL not only did 5 times compensatory plantation against each tree, but also transplanted each and every tree without cutting a single tree. You heard it right. All the trees in this project have been transplanted. RVNL and L&T collaborated and prepared a detailed method statement to execute this work of transplantation in a scientific manner under expert supervision. The big and heavy trees are first trimmed to make them lighter and transportation ready. Then the soil near the tree is excavated. The roots of the trees are treated with special chemicals to enable them to retain moisture and nutrients during the process of transplantation. The tree is then extracted from the ground using road crane and loaded on a trailer to transport it to its destination. At the location where transplantation is to be done, a JCB is required to excavate the ground and a hydra is required to unload it from the trailer and plant it back. The tree trunk may initially be supported using ropes from the ground till the tree is firmly rooted in the ground. With extra care for a few initial days after transplantation, the survival rate of transplanted trees can be increased. Committed to sustainable development, RVNL.
So the success rate now is about 60%. Now here we also had a learning when we interacted with CEC that we are trying to achieve say 100%. It's not possible because they explained to us that people don't understand transplantation. So even now when the CEC gave the order, it reversed the High Court order. The High Court order was go for 100% transplantation. So then CEC with a batch of specialists, they distinguished the entire 1,000 trees into 2 parts. One are the native species and then the non-native species. For non-native species, CEC has simply given order of felling because they will not survive. So if you transplant those also, they will not survive and the percentage of survival reduces. So if you transplant only the native species and then if you take care of them, then the chances of survival are as good as 60 to 50%. The Forest Department does not recognize legally transplantation. They give permission for felling. They don't have anything called transplantation. That's one thing. And secondly, in their own official figures, they accept a transplantation success rate as 35%. So if we are able to maintain anywhere like 60 to 70%, it would be a good achievement for us. This, as I was talking about the legacy issue and one of the good works done, I would say this is the BC Raw market at Esplanade. And if we are to make a Esplanade station here underground, this market is to be shifted. Now, this is an unauthorized encroachment on the Ministry of Defence land. And this market was made in 1956. Defence has not been able, MOD has not been able to remove this market since 1956. So because of this, the problem was this issue was stuck for last 11 or 12 years. There was no decision on this. We had gone to the extent that it was thought that Esplanade station would ultimately not be made and we would terminate a line 1 station ahead. So ultimately RVNL really came up with a suggestion which was accepted by both MOD and state government. And the suggestion was this, that we have an existing BC Roy market. So this is the Esplanade station, 300 meters in length. The BC Roy market is located right in the center. That's called the B area here. So we gave a solution that we will restore your status quo. What we are going to do is there are 534 shops. We will make 534 a prefabricated market here in A. In first phase, we will make the station in 2 phases. We will shift the entire BC Roy market from B to A, and then we will construct this half of the station. And in the second phase, again, we will make the permanent BC Roy market here, bring back the market here, and then we will make the station here A. So ultimately, the underground station would be made and the BC Roy market will remain status quo. So after, on top of this station. it will remain as it is. State government was very happy, and MOD with finally, after a lot of reluctance, they agreed. Because having worked in Bengal, I know that you cannot shift 534 shops. It's not going to happen. It's better to abandon your station. So then we have already started the work of construction of temporary BC Raw market here. And using this, we discussed and gave Metro Railway another proposal. This is the Eden Garden and this is the Ganga River. This is the Esplanade station. Now, this Esplanade station, which RVNL is making, will make Esplanade the Rajiv Chowk of Delhi, because this blue line is the original metro of 1984. This is the green line. This is coming from Havda, the underwater tunnel that was there. So these two stations are already functional. We are making the third station here. So, and this is where the BC Roy market is. So we gave a Metro Railway a proposal. They wanted a crossover to be made here. So crossing, and this tunnel is already made. So they asked us that you have to make a crossover anyhow. We don't know how you'll make a crossover. We told them that we are giving a crossover here. All the studies have shown that you don't require a crossover here. The line can be terminated here. But being the client, they said, no, we want a crossover here at any cost on this side. We will take the trains here. Fine. Now the tunnel is already done. The TBM has done the tunnel. You cannot take the, you cannot do the cut and cover method here. So ultimately, we gave them an option that if you want the crossover, we are going to do it like this. We are going to take it here and give you a crossover here. So when it was presented to the general manager Metro, he liked it. So then we gave another option that now that you are taking it so far, why not give a station to Eden Garden? That's your choice, not us. RVNL is not saying it. So finally, GM Metro has agreed. They agreed. We did not. We just gave them a technical solution. So they agreed, and this is the minutes of meeting of general manager, where he has said that this BPD park, because the original work sanction was Joka to BPD park, and one station was supposed to be not made. So he said this BPD park station can be made here. So we are very clear. If Metro Railway gets it sanctioned, then RVNL and ask RVNL to make it. We'll be very happy to make it. We are doing the tunneling here to the TBMs. So considering the soft soil art choice, here is the EPB, the earth pressure balancing machine that we have used, and the EPB we have selected. FAT has already been done, and both the machines. In fact, sir, today the second machine has also, the first consignment of the second machine has also come in Calcutta. So one very important thing we need to do is whenever we are doing anything, we need to analyze that what wrong has been done in the past, which we should be careful. So one very important Bow Bazaar incident had happened in Calcutta in the KMRCL. In the KMRCL, there was a TBM machine that was going, and the first incident happened on 31st of August 2019. So there was huge leakage of water and soil suddenly. There was no loss of life, but 23 buildings collapsed and required to be dismantled. The second and third incidents were actually mainly because of one. If in Calcutta area, because it's totally sandy, it is totally saturated. In the newspapers, it came that the TBM had hit a aquifer. Now, in the Calcutta, there is totally sand and it is totally saturated. Wherever you go, there'll be water only. So it's a very, very challenging thing to hold the water while TBM, because if the leakage starts and there is a very shallow overburden, there are very old dilapidated structures in Calcutta. If the water ingress in the TBM starts, it is going to be very, very difficult. So having learned from this, what was the main reason? First, why it happened? Well, when we got into the details, we interviewed the contractor who has done it, the operator who was there. The main reason was that when they started the tail brush, there is something called the tail skin grease and there is a tail brushes. So there were 3 layers of tail brushes. When that incident happened, they had already changed their tail brushes twice because they were worn out, and they did not have a tail brush in spare. That was number one. Number two, the tail skin grease was not functional. So basically no tail skin grease was going on, and they had no way to measure it. So we have made certain rectifications in the TBM based on that. We and L&T have introduced an inflatable seal. That's a new item in our TBM. So whenever it comes in contact with the water, it would just inflate and it should stop the water. The second is we have introduced pressure transducers in the tail skin grease lines. So there are like six grease lines. Whenever there is a problem in any grease line, we would simply know, because if the grease consumption is normal, most of the problem would be taken care of. And then we have done the geophysical survey and we are keeping the backup TSG pump. That's the alignment of the TBM here. Building condition survey and instrumentation is a very big challenge if you are doing the underground metro in busy areas like Calcutta because of the dilapidated state. Because we'll be moving under close to very important archaeological structures, so we have to do the building condition survey, which we have done, and accordingly, an instrumentation plan is prepared. In all these buildings, we have to install the instruments, and regular monitoring is to be done to see that they are not exceeding their design limits, the crack, etc. The Plaxis software is the software that is used to first generate the settlement contours. Now, for example, that has been deleted. So the launching shaft map, anywhere where we are doing the TBM work, contours of settlement are plotted. Accordingly, these instruments are planted in those, fitted in those buildings. The tilt meters, crack meters, the inclinometers, and then triple A values. These are called the triple A values. So when the design limit is there, we have the triple A, that is the alert, action, and alarm level. So based on this, the persons who are taking the readings compare with this, and then they take the action accordingly. Noise and vibration studies have already been done. These are the site laboratories and the chiller plant there. We are using the pre-cut and bend bars for the segments. This is the segment stacking. This is our laboratory with two things we have done. We are doing the water permeability test in-house, and of course from the others outside laboratory also. That's the RCPT test being done in-house. This is the launching shaft, almost finished. Now today we are doing the waterproofing, and then we'll do the base lab and start lowering the TBM. So we did an innovative way. Was normally launch commissioning is 90 meters, so the launching shaft was supposed to be 60. But we would have required in traffic block, and we have preempted from Kolkata police. We will never get traffic block. Ultimately, the testing will never start. So we drastically reduced the launching shaft size from 65 meters to 57 meters. So when over the TPM here, we will be lowering front shield, middle shield, and the tail shield. The remaining entire, and this is only the 11 meters of the TPM. So apart from that, remaining 80 meters TPM would still be on top, and these will be connected by the umbilical cords. So we have additional umbilical cords, which has cost around but for people to contract. So through these umbilical cords, we can start with the as in like a joystick from the ground, and then keep inserting gantries as well. So this ultimately reduce our dependency on the state government and reduce totally negated the requirement of project. So they are not removable. So the muck would be removed, and I mean, as it starts, there will be a there bucket. There is trains. There is a locomotive and the trains. They will bring it back, and using these trains, muck will be brought to the ground, sir. So they have this bucket arrangement. They will have some locos. I mean, they will lower the loco and some. I mean, yes, sir. They will be good because, sir, out of this 37, we are using only 11.5 meters. 24 meters is left for the reaction frame and keeping of the yes, sir. Hopper said they'll use it. We have made an underground model room. I'll just take you virtually. It's a 1-minute video. Where we have displayed all the 3D models of TPM and all the stations that are being made. This is in Calcutta, near Victoria Memorial. That's the Pachira railway station overlooking the tracks. That is over the Madan area. That's the Victoria Memorial. See on the walls. Soil samples, strata.
This is world class. And really,
Thank you,
we
sir.
saw one in Singapore, and I can say with absolute conviction, it is much, much better than that, much more informative. I think something like that we can have in Rishikesh. ऋषिकेश में भी कुछ ऐसा कर सकते हैं.
And in fact, sir, I'll just highlight that in these the walls, we have displayed posters. So they are not only about whatever information I could get about other projects also. There is one poster in my model room which is dedicated to Rishikesh project. There is one poster which is for Maldives project. There is one poster which is for other Pamban Bridge, sir. So this was I'll highlight because of this. We have a lot of dignitaries who come and visit it. This is our respected CMD, sir, General Manager, Metro Railway. That is our DO, sir. Then we have the media coverage here. This is the GOC Bengal area. We require a lot of, I mean, we are at his mercy kind of a thing because we require a lot of help from MOD. So we invited him to our model room, and when he came, he was so impressed. And probably it was after this after his visit, sir. This is the visit after which the PC Roy decision came. And he was so impressed by looking at RVNL's overall portfolio, as I said, because we were making Pamban Bridge and I had told about this Maldives project and Rishikesh project. So then he realized what kind of a company RVNL is. And then he said that I'm going to send my batch of, these are, sir, 70, this is a batch of 17 colonels. So in College of Defense Management, Secunderabad, the colonels who have completed a limit of service life and who are selected for higher responsibilities. So they're a batch of 17 colonels, and they're all tri-services. I mean, they were officers of Army, Navy, and Air Force. So they had come and visited our site for one full day, sir. And we sent them to the Madhirhat station, the launching shaft, etc. And they were really happy and appreciated the RVNL's overall work, sir. Now I come to the Kona Expressway. Kona Expressway is one of the very challenging works we have. It was the first BD cell work in Kolkata PIU. As I said, the biggest challenge was that we took at a very competitive rate. And L&T was L2. It was the assessed price for 840 crores by NHAI. We were L1 at 720 crores and L2 was L&T at 1045 crores. So obviously the biggest challenge is here only that we have to complete this work successfully, timely, and with some profit margin if possible, or at least at par. And there were in this contract, the dispute started right from the day one because this LOA was issued on 31st March 23. The agreement was supposed to sign. NHI never presented the agreement because there were 594 encroachments. So as per the contract, they are supposed to give us 90% land. They were in no position to give 90% of land. So they simply waited. And accordingly, RVNL, as per the contract, on September 23, rescinded the contract, rather terminated the contract from the contractor side. But we are a PSU. I mean, even though we had deposited the PSG, we were called by the chief secretary. And even though the state of West Bengal is been no way party, but they are a party here. So they asked us that you should do it. And accordingly, meetings were held at with Secretary Moth level also. And RVNL was practically pressurized to do this work. So we had to ultimately start this work. There are a lot of issues here. The utilities, they had assessed only 19 crores, but the utility shifting is costing us 54 crores. So this was the first dispute that who will pay the balance differential amount. And with CMD sir's intervention, NHEI has compensated 50% of the differential utility shifting. That is 13 crores. We have already got it. This is a very out of the way contract they have got. But we have on pen and paper maintained that we should be reimbursed full differential. And in fact, we are having a meeting with Chairman NHI today at 4 p.m. where we are going to reiterate our stand again. Finally, when they gave us 96% of land on pen and paper and the appointed date was declared, a very strange thing happened. They handed over the land of railway, Southeastern Railway to us. But when we went there to start the filing work, the Southeastern Railway people objected and said they have never given the land to NHI. So that 96% land came back to 83%. Now this percentage is very important because at 90, you cannot declare appointed date without 90%. So NHI here is at material default. And we said, now you have, misrepresented. You have given us wrong information. So you please refix the appointed date. It is not valid today. We gave them the letter in November 24, and till date, NHAI has not replied to that letter. But now we are also in a fix because we are fully mobilized to do full work. I mean, we started the work and we are doing it so fast. We are doing 80 piles per day. I mean, our scope is 1100 piles. We have already completed 400 piles. So now it's a catch-22 situation. Do we demobilize completely? Should we continue the work? So we have decided that now the railway land has been handed over. So we again here our legal cell has come to our help, where all these things are well documented, and we have taken over the land last week under protest, and we are going to the DRP with all these things. So tendering model for fixing subcontractors, we are at a very tight rate. So RVNL, initially we thought that we have taken this EPC contract, we'll keep the entire material to ourselves and go on the BOQ based. But when we floated the tender, the response that we got was, I mean, whatever, if we have taken at 720 crores, we would have ended giving up 820 or 850 crores. That was simply 100 crore difference. So we said, and moreover, the risk of variation was inbuilt because we are an EPC contractor and we are giving it to someone who is doing it on item rate basis. So we are passing on the risk. We are ensuring NHAI of the risk of variation, but the entire risk of variation is coming to us. So then when I joined last year, this was one of the major decisions we took. We cancelled the whole packaging and we proposed repackaging with the approval of CMD sir. We went for back-to-back EPC contract, keeping the entire material with us. So whatever difference we have, at least that risk element is frozen so that we are on back-to-back basis. Number one. Number two, the organization at that time, it was the first BD cell of the work. And because of this 1 year litigation, we thought we will never have to execute this work because we have already terminated the contract from our side. One fine day, the agreement gets signed. So immediately we have to prepare ourselves for executing this work. So organization has to be prepared. So from all those engineers and contractors who were in metro, they were only 4 or 5 people were taken. We started a very lean, thin organization for Pune Expressway, and which is still executing the Pune Expressway work. But we are having, we got ultimately 6 more people from the PMC because I will say safety is one of the reasons where we cannot compromise. RVNL cannot compromise. I'll share, I mean, this is a problem which everybody will face in some time to come. Initially, when we started Pune Expressway, our subcontractor, he's a renowned contractor, GPT, and second one is RF. They used to come to us every day that authority engineer is not helping, authority engineer is creating this problem. So we said, now this is your problem. We have given back-to-back contract. You go and manage the NHAI officials and you go and manage the authority engineer. If something is required, we'll help. Now they went 2 steps ahead. They managed them a bit too well. So because of which now they are doing anything and nobody is stopping them. So they have started doing 100 files per month without taking the safety precaution. Now neither authority engineer is saying anything nor NHAI is saying anything. Now the problem is, as a railway officer, we cannot turn a blind eye because if something happens, we are the main contractors. So now the thing is, now it has turned 360, I mean, 180 degree. Now we are the ones who are not accepting their RFIs. We are stopping their work. But this creates a kind of this will be a problem at some point of time. But I think we should keep our focus and our principles very clear. No compromise on safety. Safety is our requirement because we cannot have a plot on RVNL's name. Then again, if we see L&T, now L&T is my contractor in the underground metro. So what I'm learning from them is even L&T today does not do the entire work on their own. They are simply outsourcing. Even if they have to do a 5 road test, they are outsourcing. They are doing the D-wall work. They don't have the L&T does not own a single grabbing machine. All machines are outsourced. Their own, if they have to deploy 2 batching plants, they deploy 1 batching plant of their own. The remaining 2 batching plants are outsourced. So we need to define our core areas and non-core areas. In core area, we need to have our manpower and certain key machineries and still continue to outsource the most of the work so that our footprint on the ground is limited, but at the same time, the core areas are with us. So that, and core areas would mean the safety, quality, contract management, including the legal arbitration and dispute resolution. These are the challenges there that we are busy. These are, there in the metros also. So what is our action plan? So our action plan is first build an organization, which we have already done now. Understand the client, the authority engineer in the system, and our small organization of about 5-6 engineers only. Now we really understand the NHAI really very well, and our 4 bills have also been passed by them. We have to focus. If we want to have some margin, minimize loss, then we have to get out of there as soon as we can. So this is evident from our progress that we have completed 400 out of 1100 files in last 6 months. And we have completed 71 file caps out of 221 file caps in 4 months. This is the major work. I mean, basically, Kona Expressway is a 7-kilometer long metro kind of a thing, 6-lane viaduct. If we complete this, we are done with that. And as a result, we have achieved the first milestone 24 days before the scheduled time. We need to be aware of the clients and the contractors, both rights and responsibility. We need to be aware of our strength and weakness, at the same time aware of the client's strength and weakness also. It's an EPC contract. We cannot say no to everything. We will have to continue our work, but at the same time, be very mindful as to whether it is within our scope of work or is it outside. And if it is outside, we must process for QS. In NHI terms, it is called the change of scope of engagement. Whether they accept it or not, we must keep submitting it. They will accept something, they will deny something. Whatever they deny can be taken to DRB, but we must do it timely and rightfully. So for example, we have submitted till now 11 COS, 41 crores mein, and we have already got 4 crores. And we'll submit it to, DRB. Suppose out of 41 crores, we get 20 crores. It's a big amount for us, for this management. And yet, we are still to do the remaining 70% of the work. Generating rightful claims. We are not a litigant party, but we must be aware of generating rightful claims and we must prepare from dispute resolution right from day one. After completing half the work, we cannot ask for our rights. So it must be on record. It must be submitted to the authority engineer. It must be submitted to the dispute resolution board very, very timely. So this I've already explained. And now we need to have, that is why the legal cell. And in our legal cell, we are having only 2 people, but we are now contacting people from Delhi, Kolkata, etc., who are experts in claim management. So we will take their services while submitting our claims to the NHI. This is how we monitor the financial and physical progress also. This is like what is amount of work done, what is the bill raised, and how much is the payment received from NHI, and whatever is the difference, we have to keep account every week kind of a thing, so that we are fully updated. We need to use artificial intelligence really. If I have to talk about underground metro also, a lot of research is going on in tunneling, L&T and especially Heron Connect. They are doing it because with the Telangana incident, they say, there are always 8 to 10 people in the ring building area. With the concept of dark factories coming in China, the concept is, why do we need to have even one person at the ring building area? Why not totally automate it? Why not totally go for robotics? And probably we'll have it very soon. Similarly, in contract management also, the use of artificial intelligence is very, very common now. And RVNL is doing this Prima BI. So I'll just present 4-5 slides on Prima BI and close the presentation. Prima BI is basically, I have been dealing with this for last 1.5 months, possibly kind of a level. So Prima BI, I think the name comes from, because it uses 2 things, Primavera and Power BI. Power BI is basically Microsoft, it was always there to create the reports and the dashboard. Now, this is a combination of these two. I'll discuss with respect to Kona Expressway. The Prima BI, it has 3 main features here: the project monitoring, SAP integration, and the claims management and data analysis. In the project monitoring, as I'm showing for the slides, you can have the project progress monitoring. It is integrated with the Primavera schedule, the baseline program, the KPIs, that is the key performance indicators. You have a dashboard. In SAP, it can be integrated in SAP, where the financial data can be taken directly from the SAP. And then you have the claim management and data analysis. We have just entered. We have not done much in this, because when we started entering data in Prima BI, there were a lot of problems we faced. So then I personally contacted Kiran and explained him that there are various issues in your program. And in fact, I gave him in writing this letter highlighting 12 issues. Then we have, as I said, we have hired a planning engineer who is expert of Primavera. He was the main person who helped me prepare this. And then we are having VC once every week with my planning engineer and that Prima BI guy. And then we have been able to resolve about 8 to 10 problems that we have here. Now, this is the dashboard of Kona Expressway in Prima BI, how it looks like. We have 910 days as the total, 2.5 years as the duration. So this will show as 33%. That is, we have completed about 1/3 of the Kona Expressway work. Now, if we see here, it shows the cash flow. Now, cash flow, it is showing at the planned cash flow is 83 crores, and actual cash flow is 94 crore, which means we by now on 6th of April. Now this snapshot is taken on 6th of April. If we see from here, it is saying that this is your code name, this is the Pune Expressway, this is the date 6th of April. That is W44 is the 44 of this project Pune Expressway. Now this says that on this date, as per your Primavera baseline schedule, which we have submitted to NHI has been period here. So this says that on this date you had planned 83 crore and you have got 94 crore. That means we have done more, which is correct because we have achieved our first 0.07 days ahead. That is number one. But initially it was showing wrong. Number one. But so difficult progress here. Now difficult progress here, it is showing us 11.57% of the planned percentage. That is on 6th of April. We were supposed to complete 11.5%, but we have completed 30%. We are 1.5% ahead of the percentage. And there was if the original prime of the that is, it was completed 23% of your GOC. Your physical function target was executed CPS 23, which is not correct because of the S curve. Initially, your milestones will be lesser, and then they will increase. Then this is the bill raised. How much bill has been raised? Then these are the original contract details here. Here. This is the milestone bottom. I mean, there are 4 milestones in this contract. So this is the milestone one, contract value. It was supposed to be completed. The plan date is 25th of April, 21st of April, and it has been achieved on 27th of March. So therefore, the previous year is minus 25 days. We have achieved 25 days ahead of the due date. Now this is important because this is the delay event distribution. So right from the as we have started this year, all our documentation are there. They have already been created, so all the delay events have already been created here. So on any given day, maybe after 4 years, 5 years, if anyone wants to understand how many delays are there in the project, they can simply go and look at the delay chart, and the delay chart is ultimately help the claim management. Now this is the S curve. It is there in the Primavera also. It has been shown in the Primavera also. I'll highlight still one thing. I will simply highlight. For example, it shows here the plan on 6th of April. The plan by the KPI is 464. Here, what is the KPI? KPI is taken as the 5. So the key parameter indices can be debt slab, gutter casting, file cap, etc. Anyone click on anyone. Suppose I have chosen 5. So file net is showing that you had planned 464, but you have achieved 63. Now this is again an error being highlighted to the Primavera because on 31st of March, we were 6 files ahead. Now the moment 1st of April happens, so what this program does is, suppose you have planned 72 files in the month of April. So it takes 72, entire 72 on the first day itself. So this is not correct. If we have planned 72, then I have suggested here that you substitute 72 divided by 38 days. So now what is happening that even though I am ahead of my schedule, in the dashboard, it is shown that I am behind my schedule. So these are various inputs that we have given to the Primavera. Hopefully they will implement them and then we will be able to make better. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Excellent presentation. So was a whole lot of
Thank you, sir.